Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going? Good to see you here, Lily.
Good.
Good to Tracy. Yeah. Just give a few minutes here so we can kick this thing off. How's everybody doing? How's it going over there, Lily? You in LA right now? No, you're leaving, right? Tomorrow?
On Wednesday, I'm home. This is my
Yeah.
living room.
Nice,
I'm
nice.
at home. I can only stay I cannot speak English. I can only stay on for about 15 minutes.
That's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
As long as you get something valuable. Just give me a couple of more minutes to see if more people will show up and then we kick off this thing off.
I listened to the BPC call, by the way, which I would like to
Sorry?
try. Yeah, the BPC call, the peptides call.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I,
Yeah, I saw your
I give it
message.
a try.
I will connect you with Josh. I'll put you in connection with him and then he will explain everything for you. He will have a call as well to help you understand what is going to be the best options. But, for sure, after surgery, I wish I knew that
No, but more even so
sooner.
for my knee. I have this a thing with my knee, so that would be really,
Oh, yeah. It
yeah.
has helped me tremendously with my lower back, like big time, big time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I gotta
it's
check it out.
amazing. All right, all right. So just one more minute here, and then we're gonna kick off, let's see. I appreciate last time you ladies getting back to me when you saw me frustrated about, do I do this community group call or I don't? Because it was literally Coach Lindsay, Coach Tracy, and one more person on the call. And I was like, if you guys are not gonna come, you're not gonna watch, what is the point for me to be doing this? Trust me, I have a grocery list of things that I need to get done. And and then quite a few of you responded saying, I just can't make it live, but I do watch the recording. And so if that's helping, even if it's like 10 people, it's too worth my time, okay? Because at the end of the day, one thing that I find is that a lot of these calls are primarily to address mindset. And a lot of women, may think, I watched a podcast, I don't need this, this hyper, this. And I know that you say that to yourself, and that's why you don't watch because of how you answer your check-in forms, you know? And sometimes I'm like, and I actually put it on purpose, right, on the check-in form. What are you doing to work on your mindset? And I'm like, either people are lying about what they do, or they listen to things and they are just like robotic, and the things that they are listening is just coming in one ear and coming out in another ear, and it's not creating any impact whatsoever on them, right? And the mindset is huge, girls. It's huge, okay? Because if you are not working on this thing right here, the thoughts, the negativity, the stress, the this and that is going to overtake your mind, and then it really affects not just your results, but it helps, but also your attitude. You know what I mean? And I definitely not sure how many of you are going to read the email or read the information, you know, on the, how can I say, on the Facebook group, because that's something else that I noticed, for example, in the changing of the app, for example, you know, we had people afterwards, we were like on this process of changing the app for like almost 3 weeks, and then it failed, and then we try to redo it again, and we still had people messaging us saying, what happened, right? What is going on? I can't get in. My this disconnected. Da, da, da. I'm like, we sent several emails. We posted on the group. We sent the message on Trainerize. I'm like, you are in the program and you're not involved with the program. It's just so crazy, to see that. And I know, I get it. We are all busy. We all have so much going on in our lives. Trust me, I get it. Okay. But if I just sign up right now to work with another business coach, and I mean, it's a plethora of things that I need to do, but I already, when I sign up with him, I make the commitment, right? And I already go in thinking, this is it. I'm going to immerse myself into this whole thing. I'm going to give this guy a shot, right? I'm not going to try. I am going to do it. I'm going to immerse myself into this and I'm going to become exactly what he does. I'm going to embody that coaching, okay? Because he has what I want. Does that make sense? So, I just wanted to, because of that, because of the whole thing that I just shared right now, is that I'm going to take a minute here. So bear with me, Lily, and I am not talking to you, Lily, okay, on this one. But I'm gonna read for those that you know, will not either read the email, that this information will fall through the cracks a little bit, because I know that this can be a little bit annoying, for me to be doing, house cleaning constantly, when it doesn't apply to you, right? So I don't want to be that kind of a coach. I don't want to be that nagging kind of person, like a parent, right? A nagging parent. But I do want to make sure that, at least every couple of months, I will be sharing this. So for those of you that will not read the email, but maybe you're going to watch this, I'm just going to read this again. So when you come into the program, we have an agreement or a contract that I find that most people probably don't read the contract, or if they do read, they just don't think about it. They forget or not. But I just wanted to address that. Bear with me, because that's also not you, Yaya. None of you that are on this call applies to you. So, but for the sake of those that will watch this later, just bear with me, okay? So I don't know if you received this email. But we sent this email today, and I'm going to be posting on the app tomorrow and on the Facebook group, just as a reminder. So we have what we call on your contract a client conduct and zero tolerance policy. Okay. So our coaching environment is built on mutual respect, professionalism, and collaboration. Fit and Turnover 40 is fully committed to supporting each client with the high standards of care, expertise, and integrity. In return, clients are expected to engage with the program and the coaching team in a respectful and constructive manner. Under no circumstances will the company tolerate passive aggressive, toxic, disrespectful, or gaslighting behavior towards coaches, team members, or other clients. Such conduct undermines the integrity of the coaching relationship in the community. Clients exhibiting these behaviors will receive one written warning, which is not up for discussion. If the behavior continues, the company reserves the right to terminate the coaching agreement immediately and without refund. This standard is non-negotiable. By enrolling, the client acknowledges this policy and agrees to uphold the culture of accountability, mutual respect, and personal responsibility for the work that is required for their own results. Okay? So this part here, I'm just, and obviously we have the other parts there that you can read it tomorrow. I don't want to take a lot of your time here. But the only thing I want to say about this is this. We have gone through, and I feel extremely bad for one of our coaches, who I believe she was literally, emotionally abused by one of our clients. And I really should have, stepped up and kicked her out of the program. Okay. And I didn't have this agreement on a contract. And, I'm always, trying to figure out ways to work things out when a client is upset. And I'm one of those that believe that the client always has, the right. And I always want to make sure that I'm accommodating clients. And sometimes even if I have a client that is upset for whatever reason, I even give them free weeks in the program. I extend the programs as a courtesy, or I give them a free blood work. I'm one of those, because when I go somewhere, if I don't like something, I expect that they will do something to make it right for me. See what I'm saying? So I believe in customer service above everything. We are no perfect by any means, but I am all about accommodating our clients big time. Okay. And I have worked, trust me, I have spent thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of money with coaches for myself, business coaches, health coaches, different kinds of coaches, life coaches, money coaches. Okay. And I have had really bad experiences with some coaches, you know, that don't give a shit, simply don't care, and I don't believe that that's who we are. We are very straightforward with what we expect of you, and we try to accommodate when people are not, doing what they're supposed to do. We call you forward, not call you out. I believe in calling you forward, to a higher standard. Her girl, I know you can do better than this. Let's go. Let's come up with a game plan for you, whatever, right? And at the end of the day, I'm also not here. We're not here as coaches to be your best friend. We are here to coach you and give you results. We are result driven, program. Okay. Some of you have done many different programs before. Some of you have spent money before, have been stuck for so long. And one of my promises to you is that if you do the work, you're going to break through, right? So I try to uphold that mindset constantly, okay? That we are here to give you results. But what I find so interesting is that this kind of behavior that I have tolerated, and I'm no longer going to do that, is that it always comes. It's so interesting that one common denominator between these people, okay, these women that act this way, one common denominator, you would guess, one common denominator: they half-ass their work. They don't do, the workouts, or they do half of the workouts. They don't log their meals consistently, or they, do good for 2 weeks and they fall off the wagon for another 2 weeks. They go on trips and they disappear. They don't log on the weekends. Does that make sense? Then they come back, do good again for 2 weeks. And then when we go read their check-ins, because, we don't have calls with everybody, we read the check-ins. You girls, if you think that what you write doesn't come out in a certain way, we all know it does, right? Sometimes we know that it's important for us to have a call with somebody when we have something to say, because the way you write can rub people off the wrong way. I have had that experience many times. So just trust me that the way you answer your check-in, it tells us exactly, it comes out exactly in what we're like, holy cow, are you serious right now? Okay. And it's not okay, because I'm not here doing that. You're not doing me a favor to do your check-in. You're not doing me a favor. Okay. You're not doing me a favor to show up in this program. Does that make sense? You are here for you. And when you don't do your check-in properly, or you give me your attitude on your check-in like you're 15 years old, okay? I honestly, I'm not going to take that anymore. So if your attitude is nasty, is condescending, it is, toxic, it is not taking responsibility for your work, it is, anything other than, I take full responsibility. I'm frustrated with, because I can't see this or I can't see that, but I totally get it that I am not doing this or I'm not doing that. Can you help me put together a process for me to stay more consistent? Yaya is fantastic with that. Fantastic. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated, blah, 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 blah. But I also know that I haven't been doing this and I haven't been doing that. Can you help me with some strategy for me to do this and for me to be more consistent? Yes, of course. Right? Totally different than I signed up for this program and I spent this money and I feel that I'm wasting my money. And when I get my check-in, the check-in is just telling me all this stuff that I'm doing wrong and da 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 and da 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 and da 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 da. That's exactly how it comes off. I'm like, whoa, holy hello, who do you think you're talking to? Who do you think you're talking to? I'm telling you right now, I know Lily said she had to leave. I'm telling you right now, I would not put up with that behavior anymore. I won't. Neither me, neither my coaches, they have permission. I read your check-ins. You girls think that, Coach Trace is just connecting with you and I wash my hands. You come into the program and I have no idea what's happening with you. Girl, you are far from understanding how we run this program. I meet with Coach Tracy every week and we go over every single client's results. Coach Tracy. And I normally tell her, what do you think about this? Let's do this, let's do that. There is a collaboration because I can't do check-ins for every single client. I need help. But don't think I'm not involved, that I don't know what's going on with you. And I read your check-ins. Anyways, I can go on and on and on here, okay? I had one of my coaches that was literally having a breakdown every time she had to do a check-in for this particular woman. She would shake on her check-in. Her voice would tremble on her check-in because this woman was literally a flippant witch. I'm not kidding you, okay? And I cannot believe that I accept that kind of behavior. I cannot, like, I kick myself in the because I accept that kind of behavior. It's my fault. It's my fault. Because you don't know, I come on a call with you to bring you into the program and I'm trusting you that you are the right fit. And then all of a sudden you come into the program and you become this, I don't even know what. Just know if you have a bad attitude about the program, I know it's not just about the program, it's probably about your life and everything else that is involved. Okay, and we're just using us as your scapegoat. If that's you, just know that please already change. Okay, because I'm not going to put up with that anymore. Period. Done. So, sorry about that for those of you that just came into this, like Mary. Poor thing. She's like, holy shit, what's going on?
I support your message. I love it. We should all be respectful.
I love it, right? Come on. See? And, and for those of you that are fantastic, we are here, girl. I don't care if you're frustrated, you're not getting progress the way fast. I'll jump on a call with you. I'll cry with you. I'll figure it out with you. We are about, like, we get it. Sometimes, the stuff gets sticky and I get it. Okay. But very different, right? I think you guys get the point. So I've been on this rant for about 10 minutes. Tanya's like, what just happened? And we will be posting this pretty often. You may going to see some negative, how can I say, reviews at some point, and you will know that that's the reason why. So with that being said, let's move on because I'm super excited to share about, what I'm going to share. Last time, I think I shared about my testimony and, and where I was and what happened to me, in this last 6 months, if you will, right? And, and one of the things that I want to share with you ladies is that, once again, going back to mindset, okay, is that number one, we got to always remember that what do we do here in this program, okay, it is not a quick fix. It is not like, oh, let me just try to do this and try this really quick. Like what I try to convey in my message when I'm bringing you into the program or when I'm promoting this on social media is that this is a lifestyle, right? And this is going to take time because, you didn't arrive where you are, in 6 months, even though the program is a 6-month program. And you also with perimenopause and hormone imbalances, a lot of times you can be in a really good place like I was, and then your hormones throw you a curve ball, and all of a sudden you are completely out of whack for a while, right? And it can happen to all of us, okay, especially throughout these years, you know. And I've been learning, you know, myself. I thought that no, it's never gonna happen to me, you know. I've been fit my entire life. I always ate healthy, you know, like my Indian clients, you know, eat healthy, you know. I've always, you know, trained. I did bikini competition. I mean, you know my story, right? But it happened. It happened twice already. You see what I'm saying? So you can be as healthy as you can be. Hormones are going to still play a huge part, right? And right now it is playing a huge part. And honestly, girls, there's so much more that I want to share with you. So much more about my own experiences. Trust me, I will. Okay, we're gonna go. I think I'm gonna go like into a series with this seriously. But you know, one of the things that I find is that a lot of you want this really bad, but you sometimes don't have, how can I say, you're gonna have to really respect your body where you are, okay? And you're gonna have to give yourself and your body what it needs when it needs, okay? Because, and I'm saying this to say that a lot of times, for example, we have like this time frame, right? We're gonna do a 12 weeks reverse, right? And then we're gonna do a 12-week cut. In the perfect world, that's what we're gonna do. Does that make sense? But I can't come to the end of your reverse and then you have all kinds of symptoms, and I can see that you're still inflamed. I can see that in the last 90 days of the reverse, you haven't really, you know, ate the way that we were supposed to eat. Maybe you did the flush protocol and you felt amazing, but then you fell off the wagon again. And I can see that you have gut issues and you're not sleeping. And then you were like, whoa, it's time for my cut, right? And I'm like, yeah, in theory, but look at your symptoms, right? Look at how inconsistent you are, because who is with me when we are on a reverse, we get a little bit more relaxed, right? More food, more carbs, more fat, let's go, right? We all do that. Does that make sense? We all do that. But and then if you really fall off the wagon that process and you're like, I need to get into a cut because now I'm fluffy. Okay, now I feel like crap, and I did this reverse that you told me, Coach Patricia, that I had to do this reverse. You told me that I had to eat more. And I trust the process. And look at me now. I have 5 pounds overweight, and blah, blah, blah. That's what I'm talking about here, okay, in regards to taking responsibility. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, how old are you now? You sound like my teenager son. Like, seriously, right now? You're gonna really throw that card on me when I go and I look your food log in the last 90 days? And you know me, that I go back with you on the Zoom call, on the Loom video, and I'll show you. Look at where you were in August, what you did in August. Look what you did in September. Look how many workouts. I go there because I have to. If you're gonna throw things at me like that, I'm gonna have to show you the truth, right? Otherwise, you're gonna go into that conversation in your head. Does it make sense that you gained 5 pounds because I told you to eat more and it was your fault? It's my fault, and now because you are paying, I have to. Does it make sense? When I look at your food log and there is like beers and desserts and pizza and this and that, and you're having this festival, and then the weekends you're gone, and then you do 2 workouts and then 3. Don't do that. So anyways, going back here, I digress. So then my point is, then it comes to the cut, and it's not, your body's not ready for the cut. Okay. And a lot of times I have to make the decision as your coach, okay, and be like, as your coach, but also because of the pushback is so bad, okay, that it's like, no, I paid for this cut and I did the 12 weeks and I have to do this cut now, right? And weak me, okay, go like, okay, let's go, you know, let's give her the cut. Let's, you know, hopefully she's gonna get her shit together and, you know, blah blah blah. Okay. But it doesn't go much further. Okay. But the ones that I'm like, girl, I have to jump on calls with you. You know who you are. I have like, oh God, okay, let me jump on a call with you. Let me explain to you like what is going on, so you can hopefully get on the same board, because it's gonna bite you on the back anyways. What's the point, right? So it's like pulling teeth with a lot of people. I'm gonna tell you right now, okay? But what I'm trying to convey to you here is that when it comes to this process of changing your body composition, working on your health, okay, it's a dance. I want you to think about it as a dance. It is like it has its ebbs and flow, okay? And you have to go with it. You can't force your body to lose weight when your body's not ready to lose weight. I'm telling you, I have so much experience with this, including with myself, that I have cut my calories down to the bone. I'm talking about 1,000 calories and couldn't lose a pound. Who has been on that place before? So we all know, based on science, that if we cut calories, you should lose weight, right? But why is it not happening? Why is it not happening? Then you start going into the self-beat up session, like something's wrong with me. Oh my gosh. And you become like this. Hello, I've been there myself. Okay. And that's not how your body's going to respond. It's like when, you know, you become a rebellion and you just want to force something, you want to force something on someone. What happened? It backfires on you. You can't force anybody to do anything, including your body. Including your body. Just so you know. Just understand that your body is like another child that you have. Okay? Your body will not put up with your disrespect, with your lack of love for yourself, for your frustration. Your body will not put up. Okay? So you're gonna have to really, we think there is this whole emotional thing doesn't play. It's huge, girls. It's huge. How you think about yourself, what you feel about yourself, you create blockages and your body is listening. There is science behind this, okay? I probably should find somebody that really coaches this that could come and do a session for us. Okay? It's big. People get sick because of their minds a lot of time. Okay? So then my point is you are here, you know, in this process, okay? Like for me, okay, I was like, okay, I'm doing all this stuff. I shared with you last week my process, my phases, my, you know, my protocols, right, and everything. And I'm like, cool, you know, I'm feeling better, I'm sleeping better, you know, I have all these things that it's feeling, you know, I'm feeling like myself again. Amazing, let's go. I'm doing this cut, right? And then I just realized that I'm like on week 9 of the cut, and yes, I lost some weight, but I'm like on week 9, like, hello, let's go, you know? Are we gonna lose this or no, you know? And I'm like, let me check my blood work. So this is what we bring the science behind this stuff that you really need to understand, okay? Then I go look my blood work and I realized, okay, on my blood work, and I'm gonna share with you so you can kind of like have a little bit of an idea of what I'm talking about with you, because we would do that with every single one of you that actually will allow us to do this, okay? So then I received my blood work back, you know, last month, and I'm like, okay, yay, there's so many, everything improved, blah, blah, blah. But then I noticed, because I know my body, I know my body composition, I know how things are, right? The last thing you want, girls, when you are on a weight loss, on a weight loss phase, when you're in a cut, the last thing you want is to lose muscle. in the process of losing weight. Okay, you do not want that, especially at my age. Like, you do not want to lose muscle. It's not worth it to lose weight at the expense of losing muscle mass, because muscle mass is going to affect your metabolic rate, it's going to affect your insulin, it's going to affect your bones, it's going to affect everything. Okay, so muscle is our biggest asset. Okay, so I started to notice that I was looking leaner, but I noticed my muscle mass was also getting less. And I'm like, wait a minute here. Okay, how is that possible? I'm crossing every T, I'm dotting every I. Yes, I'm feeling much better. I'm taking all this stuff, all of this. Definitely that, but I can see if I continue this trajectory, I'm just gonna look like a skinny, toothpick. Like, then it defeats the total purpose here. I'm not just looking for, to be skinny. That's not my goal, right? This is not about just aesthetics. This is about longevity, right? This is what I coach. So I was just like, let me dive deep into this blood work. Let me just see really what in the heck is going on with me, okay? So I'm like, okay, all this stuff is looking good, but wait a minute. My neutrophils right here, this guy right here, okay, was 62, okay, previously when I did this in June, okay? And I'm like, I was extremely inflamed. I had leaky gut here, okay, and it was showing really high. So then I did my blood work again 90 days later, and it's down 55, but optimal is below 50. So just by looking at this already, okay, and looking at my lymphs as well, actually it went higher this time. So, my lymphatic system is talking to me, okay? I'm like, okay, so obviously I can see here that my body, even though I feel better and I look better, I am still not fully healed, okay? I still not fully healed. So I'm like, okay, let me go down this thing here. Glucose is great, but when I come down here, okay, and then I look, a lot of things that improve. Don't worry about this because this doesn't mean anything. But when I come down here and I'm like, okay, my testosterone is pretty high, okay, but my free testosterone is super, super, super low, right? So I'm like, okay, I need to dive deep into this and understand why this is taking place. So I come down here, okay, and I realize that my DHEA is also low, okay? Then I look at my cortisol for the first time in God knows how long, my cortisol is actually low. Well, if you understand a little bit about science and blood work, DHEA and cortisol actually supports testosterone. Okay, and also supports our mood, if you are angry, if you are more calm, okay, it's those hormones that support that kind of stuff. And lately, homegirl here has been very, very spicy, okay, and I'm like, why I am so like that, okay, because I can feel it, okay. So I realized that my DHA, my cortisol, is not supporting my testosterone. So my testosterone is high, and the body is too sensitive to the testosterone that is high, and it's taking me to another level. It's just creating a lot more than what I need. Okay, but I can't minimize my testosterone right now. Okay, because that wouldn't be the solution. There's so much more to this here, okay? But I'm super happy that my estrogen, which was about 400 before, is down to 106. So I'm like, okay, let's go. I fixed that one, okay? But and then another sign that came here that really changed everything for me. I'm super happy that my whole growth hormone is 2.7, which is great. I mean, not great, it's okay. Okay, you could go all the way, much higher than this. Progesterone is good. But and then I'm like, my insulin, how is in the heck my insulin 12.1? Okay, so I just stay with me on this, girls, because this all looks normal. There is nothing black here. There is nothing, right? If you would look at it, you know, with any doctor, like, oh, this is all normal. But I know what is normal because I know how I'm feeling. Does that make sense? And I can see on my body composition how things are going. Well, come to find out that my sex hormone binding globulin is high. So I'm like, okay, so now I have more clue on what's happening here. So my sex hormone binding globulin, okay, globulin. When it's high like this, what is happening, you know, and I kind of shared this on, you know, another post, is that that thing now is binding my testosterone, okay, my hormones is binding it. And even though my testosterone is high, the available testosterone that I have to use in my body, it's not available because the sex hormone binding globulin is binding my testosterone. So it's bringing it to a prison. And the only thing that I have available, the only thing that the sex hormone binding globulin is allowing to be available for me to use is 1.5 out of the 123 that you saw. So now my DHEA, which is also an androgen to support muscle growth, is a precursor for testosterone. It's low. Okay? Okay, so guess what? I can't put muscle right now. I need testosterone to put muscle. I need androgens to put muscle. Okay? And I am in a cut. You know for a fact that we can put a muscle in a cut. So that alone already answers if I should be continue doing this or not. Does that make sense? Now, why my sex hormone binding globulin is high? Well, a couple of things can be happening, okay? The fact that I am on HRT can already push that. But also when you are on the cut, when you're eating less, when you're eating little, okay? It will also push your sex hormone, you know, your sex hormone binding globulin up. Now it's, you see what I'm saying? So it becomes this catch-22. All right. So then I have a decision to make. Okay. Do I continue pushing this cut even though I know, oh, I only have 4 to 5 weeks left, Patricia? That's not a lot, right? I just want to lose another 3 to 4 pounds. Come on, that's not a lot, right? But I am feeling a little wired up, if you will. Just, you know, saying a little bit, how can I say, get triggered faster, you know, because my DHEA is not supporting my testosterone and all of that I just shared. So that's when we say that your blood work is telling you a story, okay? Then I have to pull back. I'm like, I'm going to stop with my cut because skinny is not my goal, not at the expense of pushing my sex hormone binding globulin and spending all this money on HRT so my body won't use the HRT. What's the point? Oh, so then I'm just going to stop taking everything then. No. You got to heal. My gut is not fully healed yet. Do I look better? Yeah. But my gut's too in the process of healing. You know, when you have a cut and you put a Band-Aid on, and then when you take it too soon, it's too pinky and it's too, the skin is very thin. And if you do anything, it opens up that cut again. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I'm talking about. That's where I'm at right now. Okay, if I pull that Band-Aid too soon and I keep pushing it, it's going to break that skin again. Okay, so why I'm sharing all of this? I'm sharing all of this to say to you that there is a time and a place for everything. And in our program, we do blood work for everything, exactly so we know exactly what is going on. So we're not pushing your body, we're not pushing your health. So, we're not trying to push this weight loss at the expense of messing up with your gut, messing up with your hormones, your mental health, all those things, including your relationship. Because when you are crazy bananas, your husband is like, what the flip is going on? Okay. My husband just last night had this conversation with me. He's like, I don't get it. You are doing all this stuff, and I can tell you that if something is too off. I'm like, I know, babe. Let's have a conversation about this. You know? He actually told me, and I'm going to actually make a post about this because I thought it was hilarious. He said to me, I was actually like thinking you were not in love with me anymore. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm crazy about this man. Are you crazy? Like, what got to your head? He's like, nothing got to my head. But every time I come next to you, you were like, you're like, and I'm like, really? Am I like this? He's like, yeah. It's like I can't even come next to, and not that I'm not even having, intercourse or anything, because, I would do it even if I have to, because I believe so much in a relationship like that. But it doesn't matter. You can still have sex with your husband, but if you are all day long like, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, wait a minute. Let me take a look at what's going on here because something is too off, and I can pretend, right? And I'm doing all this stuff. And the first thing that I did, girls, was to increase my macros. Get me out of the cut. It's not helping my sex hormone binding globulin. It's not gonna, I need the testosterone to help me stabilize my mood. I need the DHEA to stabilize things. Does that make sense? I need to continue working on my gut. I'm not fully dead yet. Okay? Does it suck? Do I want to look like I used to? Yes, I do. I don't want to just look skinny. But I don't care, right? I rather feel better right now, heal properly, then I'll get back into the cut. I can always go back into the cut. Okay? So what I'm trying to share with you is that every single protocol we do with you, there is a purpose for it. Okay? Obviously, I wish I had the time when we're doing the check-ins to explain to you, look, we are having right now this supplement and that supplement and this thing and that thing because your sex with this and your blah, blah, blah with that and your blah, blah, blah with this. All of this is stuff that is going on with you. We're doing this because of all of this. I wish I had the time to do that with every single one of you. But unfortunately, we try to give you as much information of why things are happening, but a lot of times you're gonna have to kind of like trust the process with us, because if you're like, okay, I really want to understand why I need to do this protocol like this, fine, I'll give it to you. See what I'm saying? But understand that there is a science behind it. We are literally going through your blood work and we are seeing, okay, so maybe this is happening with this. We need to tweak this. Like just today, I had a client that we are putting together a protocol for her. And we are like, okay, we know she is on probiotics. Okay, but with this supplements we're going to give her, she's not going to supposed to take probiotics. So there is a contraindication with some supplements as well that we need to make sure that there is a time in an order for us to introduce it, just like we do with the peptides and all the other things. Okay, so there is a process, girls, to get this thing done. And I'm gonna open up for questions here, but there's two different things too that I need you to understand in the program. And that's one of the things that it makes us so different. Okay. There is a difference between functional for hormone balance, gut health, to get you to feel better, okay, and body composition. Two different, completely different programs. Okay, so much so that when we are working with functional, you don't even need to track macros. When we are working with functional, you are following a meal plan, right? You are taking a bunch of supplements, and depending on the protocol you're not even supposed to do strength training. So have it ever dawned on you that, when we are doing functional protocols, it has nothing to do with your body, how you're gonna look, aesthetic speaking? Does that make sense? So if you are on this thinking that we are going through all these protocols and you should look like Liso, my client that I posed the other day, 6 packs, all, shredded, right? And she's in the same program. Yes, but see what I'm saying? She's in a whole different spectrum of this. We can't, rarely, depending on the protocol you are, especially if you're in a gut protocol, you won't be able to, you're going to feel that in terms of your body composition, you're walking backwards because you can't work out. Okay? So is this making sense? So what makes us different in my program is that, I was just talking to a lady right now on Facebook, she's inquiring about the program, and she was telling me that, she's working with a functional doctor and this and that, but she's so frustrated because, she's feeling better, but she hasn't lost anything. And, and her body composition is not changing no matter what, how clean she's eating and da. I'm like, girl, if you are working with a functional doctor expecting that functional doctor will change your body composition, you are going to be frustrated. It's like me going to the dentist for dentist work, thinking that I'm going to leave with my Botox on. Does that make sense? What makes us unique is that I have done bodybuilding. I have worked a lot with body composition. This is one of my jams. It's one of the things that I know how to work with. It's body comp, is, how to do all that building up the 6 packs, I know how to work body composition. No, like I'm telling you, even Sarah, Sarah is amazing with functional, but I don't even go to her for my macros. Do you understand? Two different things. And the thing is we can work body comp until your body is healed and ready for body comp. Because if I work on body comp before we heal your body or hormones, your body's not going to respond. That's why I had to bring functional into my program. Because my program originally was full-blown just body comp. All the women that came in my program, they came just because they want to have a flat tummy. And that's still the case, fit and tone over 40. That's still the case. But now I tell them what happened was I start to realize that the women that were coming to me over 40 to get toned, they were not getting toned because they are masked with their hormones in their gut and they couldn't get the result. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? Then I realized that it was happening to me too. And I was like, oh boy, if I don't learn this stuff, I'm going to be out of business. Because, or I'm going to go work with only girls that are 30 years old. See what I'm saying? Right? But that's not the woman that I attract to. But I also was going through perimenopause. I want to learn this. And now that I'm learning this and I'm learning all this stuff, I want to coach this too. I want to help all these women. But, if you're going to be going through the functional, thinking that you're going to get a 6-pack and tone and all this muscle, sorry to, maybe I didn't explain to you properly. Okay, but that's not how it works. So I have been always the body comp coach. That's what I know. And then I had to develop myself, take certifications, bring coach Sarah to bring the functional too. So now we start with everybody through functional, because every woman that comes to work with me are a mass, hormonally speaking. But once I get them ready, let's go body comp. Does that make sense? Now the body's going to respond. And that's what I was telling this woman. I was like, you are going to be hating your functional doctor because yes, I feel better, but I haven't lost any weight. I don't look toned. My body composition hasn't changed. Oh, hello. Did you hire a body composition coach? Is your functional doctor a body composition coach? No, he's a doctor. Okay. So you are oblivious. Like you really don't know that this is not gonna happen, right? But if you are in my program, both is gonna happen, but it's going to be at the right time. And some of you continue to stay on a functional roller coaster. Okay. I haven't been able to take you through the body composition because you get discouraged during the functional, but your body will not respond until you fully get healed, just like I am in that position right now. Does that make sense? You gotta heal. You don't have an option. You can't force your body to do that, girls. You're gonna have to do the work to get healed, to balance your hormones, to feel better, to sleep better. I've been sleeping every night 8 to 9 hours. It's been amazing. I don't remember last time I used to. I'm like, holy cow, this is incredible. Okay. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Is this helpful? Any comments, anything? Because I could keep going and going here, but I want to give an opportunity for questions.
I have a question, unrelated. Well, maybe it's related. So I saw that the Flush has a no caffeine rule. So I've been trying to prepare because I have a caffeine problem. Um, I did buy rhodiola, if that's how you pronounce it.
Rhodiola.
And hello everyone, my name is Mary. Nice to meet you. I had like some mad diarrhea, and I'm just wondering if that's normal with
Did you
that.
already start the flush?
No, I'm just trying to like cut out caffeine so when I start, I don't die.
Rodeo. Oh, interesting. I've never heard of that with rhodiola.
I
Hmm.
was thinking maybe it was I also bought that Daisy coffee or something,
The
but
daily?
we like I've drank Pero and the ingredients look very similar, so I don't know.
Hmm. We need to look at your, because you also just start the program and you just started with the magic plate, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty similar to what I've been eating
Healthy
anyway.
eating.
So,
The only way for us to really know if it's the rhodiola and the dandy blend is if you stop them and you go back and then see what that does. Because the only time that I've seen people either having constipation or diarrhea when they start the program is if they were eating very different from how I recommend them to eat, and then they start to eat and then the microbiome and the body starts to acting out because you changing everything, and then we see that happening. But if you were eating pretty similar to the magic plate and you add the rhodiola and the dandy blend and that did it for you, then I would probably back off from both of them. See what I'm saying? And wait and see, because you can just minimize your caffeine. Trust me, girl, I live off of coffee. My
yeah.
husband and I, we are coffee addicts. We absolutely love coffee. And that was the hardest part for me too. I had horrible migraines. I'm talking about debilitating to the point that I had to quit everything, go to sleep, and throw up, okay, because of the withdrawal from caffeine. So it is smart that you minimize caffeine, right? Like if you're drinking 3 cups per day, let's go down to 2 for a few days, then drop to 1 if you can. Does that make sense? Then go decaf. Like that kind of would be the way to start winding off of it. But it's going to be pretty much impossible to not feel the withdrawals of caffeine when you start the flush. Believe it or not, when I did the flush, I stayed 90 days without drinking coffee after the flush because I felt so amazing. I didn't need the caffeine. It was just like, wow, I couldn't believe it, you know? Now, the Dandy Blend and the Rhodiola, I bought and I recommend, suggested to take if you are was because in my first week on the flush, I was drained. I was like so drained. I had no energy. I had nothing. I felt awful on the first week and I had to work a lot. And for me to show up to the calls and I had no energy and I started searching, what do I do? And I found out that the rhodiola helps with that energy because the dandy blend doesn't do anything. It's just a coffee, you know, substitute fix that you will. But the rhodiola helped me at least to kick my energy. So I would take with holy basil and I would take rhodiola with the holy basil, you know, for my morning with my dandy blend. And then I would take in the afternoon again. And it would help me kick that energy. Does that make sense? But
Yeah.
especially the holy basil. But you can start that because it's a supplement. You can feel the effects of that when you need it. You may not even need it right now. But I would stop for a few days and then test it again and see if that's the case because it could be everybody's different, you know, we don't know.
Okay.
I hope that
Okay.
helps.
Good.
But
Yeah.
I would wine off like differently than you see what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Thank
Sorry,
you.
girl. I know coffee's the best.
Yes.
Any other comments? Anything? Anybody? No? Okay, so
Trisha, I do have a quick question.
yeah.
Why do you think your body went through that? Was it
Why
a
I
trigger
went through
or is
that?
it just hormonal and we can't control hormones?
That's a really great question, right? I had somebody asking me how in the heck, someone with your healthy lifestyle would develop a leaky gut, right? Because you think that leaky gut's something that would only happen if you eat super crappy and you drink a lot of alcohol and you let it up, right? And all this kind of stuff, which I don't at all. I probably had 2 drinks in my entire year. Cortisol, my cortisol was high for 2 years. This is the first time ever I've done a cortisol test and my cortisol is low, I was like, whoa, this is amazing, probably because I don't know. We would never know. Honestly, I can't tell you what did to bring my cortisol down because there's no pill, right? Could it be that because I'm doing sauna 3 times a week, 3 to 4, could have that be? I wish I would be able to track that. But my point is high cortisol. Okay. And also that, how can I say stress? I was talking about this on the last call. Stress is not just, me being stressed about, this work that I got to do, that thing that I got to do, right? Stress or things that are bad that are happening. The body can perceive stress, right? Even by how you are constantly wired in your brain, right? When you're constantly, I'm here talking to you, but I have another 10 things in the back of my head about what I need to do here, what I have to do after this call, blah, 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 blah. And like you're not present. And I definitely, it's one of my biggest challenges is to be present. I even start taking in NAD, right? NAD to see if it helps me to, calm down a little bit more in terms of my brain. You see what I'm saying? Because once again, goes back to those thought patterns and all of that. The body can perceive just by the way we think that something is going on, even though everything is beautiful and amazing, there is no problems, right? So, and when the body is constantly perceiving things like stress and becomes a chronic stress, it will eat up the gut lining. Okay, so this is like research, there's science on this. That's number one. Number two, the imbalance of estrogen. So my estrogen also being so high and really throwing everything off also causes problem with the leaky gut. So it could be a combination, like the perfect storm of both, right? So now I've been dealing with a chronic stress that I don't even perceive, okay, that I have because I think that I'm managing everything, but inside of my head, right, my body thinks that I am. And obviously the proof is on my blood work, right? When I did my cortisol, it was through the roof for the last 2 years. Oh, but I don't feel stressed. But your body does. Does that make sense? It's on your blood work. Can't argue with that, right? So that happened. Then a real stress happened, which was 2 weddings, right? At the same time. You see what I'm saying? That was talk about. I people talk about, you know, putting weddings together, how hard it is. I didn't know until, you know, I was just like, holy cow. Not only because I was putting everything together, but because I had a very limited budget and I didn't have a lot of, I couldn't afford hiring, you know, a lot of people to help me. So I had to do a lot of things myself. And so that came together. And then on top of that, you know, when estrogen really kicked in and I had that imbalance on my estrogen, it really pushed me into vertigo. The vertigo alone just puts the body in a completely state of flight. Everything goes off. I don't know if anybody here experienced vertigo. It's one of the worst experiences that I ever had in terms of health. It's awful, absolutely awful. And then I went to Brazil, as you know, and I just kept adding. See what I'm saying? Now I had this high cortisol. Now I had the wedding. Then my estrogen went through the roof. I couldn't stop. I had to keep going, right? Then I went to Brazil and I decided to do a surgery, a plastic surgery. And the plastic surgery didn't do well. I had an infection. I was on a bunch of medication, pain medication, antibiotics on top of everything. Does that make sense? So now it was the perfect storm with life circumstances and hormone imbalance at the same time that it threw everything off. And I gained 10 pounds in 30 days, like boom, like that, right? So, you know, that's to answer. And that's why, you know, this time of our lives right now, it's so sensitive, you know, thank God you are not there anymore, Tanya. But it's such a sensitive time because life is going to happen just by default. And then on top of when life happens, if your hormone gets unbalanced right in the middle of it, now you are in for trouble. You know, and I hate to be the, you know, the painting the ugly picture, but you know what I'm saying? Like, and the thing is can we control some things? Yeah, but some things we just can't control, right? God forbid if somebody had died during that process, what would I do? You know what I mean? And that's just how life it is. But, you know, the beautiful thing about this is that, especially for us now, is that we know how to get out of that. You know, I was upset, I was frustrated, yes, especially because when you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, holy shit, I lost my entire progress. And on top of that, I feel like shit. Right? It is sad. It is frustrating. It is embarrassing. I felt all the feelings, you know? But I also knew how to fix. So I had hope, right? I was just like, it's okay. Just give me time. That's all I need. I just need time. If I did it before, I can do it again, right? And that goes with all of you, that whether you went through whatever I went through or you are in the middle of that, know just this, like, just give me time. If I'm gonna give me what I need to do, I am going to apply myself. I'm going to do it, whatever it takes, and I'm gonna get out of this. And I'll be able to share my story. You know, see what I'm saying? But it does take time, right? But I'm very, very hopeful now because I'm like, but I'm also very respectful, girls, about my journey. I'm very, very, very respectful of my body, right? Really respecting and understanding where my blood work are right now, my blood markers. And instead of like trying to force something, I'm just like, no, I am going to be wise here because this is a very delicate time. Got to be wise with your health. It's the only thing we have. Only thing we have. You can be a billionaire and you have no health and you are miserable. You have nothing, right? My body, my health, my sanity, it's the only thing I have, my only asset. Does that make sense? So I'm not in a hurry. I am not in a hurry at all. I am going to be right here pacing with it, pacing with it, pacing with it, right? If I can do the cut tomorrow, no problem. I'll back it up. Do I need to go back a few steps? I'll go back it up because I know that as I heal and the blood work is showing me, you good, let's go. It's gonna come a time that I will be able to go all in and look and feel the way I want to. Does that make sense? Wow, it's already 6:06. Right? Any other comments before we leave? I hope this was helpful, girls. You know, I want to continue sharing on this. One thing I want to share on the next call is that, you know, the more I dive deep into this, the more I'm trying to figure out, because one thing I am determined, okay, is that I will not be living my life empty of emotions. I'm not going to live my life like I am a dead fish. See what I'm saying? No feelings, no desire, no nothing. Just living my life through going through the emotions. That's not me. I want to live a full life. I'm only 50 years old. I refuse. I have girls. I'm just starting. See what I'm saying? I'm just starting. Seriously, I'm not saying this. I'm just starting. Okay? I just got married 6 months ago. You know, I still have dreams and places to go and things to do and women to impact. I have just started. I'm 50 years old. I want to be healthy, strong, fit, sexy, hot, wise, all, the whole thing. And I want that for you, for those of you that want that and believe it's possible for you. And as soon as my husband told me that, that's what I did. I did some research and I ordered oxytocin. And I'm going to tell you about this thing. Holy shit. This is going to be for the next call. Honestly, I don't make $1, nothing off of any peptides, off of nothing you get in this program besides paying for the program is what I get paid. I don't promote anything for anybody in this program. But when I test something and I see results, you better know I'm going to share with you. Whether you want to do it or not, it's on you. But I'm telling you right now that I am in shock that we are, this body here, okay, is 100% moved by hormones. 100% moved by hormones. And all these chemical imbalance and all these hormones imbalances are disconnected. It's literally buttons that are being turned off in our lives that we are just like, but we live in a time that we can turn everything back on. It's amazing to see that we can take testosterone and put on muscle and have less brain fog, that we can take estrogen and not having more hot flashes and, you know, and not get our, you know, intimate parts or, you know, dried anymore. And we can, you know, take progesterone and calm ourselves down and go back to sleep and have, you see what I'm saying? And we can take a peptide that helps you heal your gut, and you can take an oxytocin and feel in love again because you never lost the love anyways. You just didn't have anything in you. See what I'm saying? How do we optimize? How do we optimize so we are not coming to this age, dying, becoming nothing, when we are supposed to be living the most because we have so much experience, so much wisdom, but our bodies are like declining, going to in our brain, in our minds. Like, who wants to live that way? If you want to continue thriving and testing things with me, just keep following me on Instagram. All right, because I'm on the mission, girls. Gonna keep going, okay? Until the day I die. I love you. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Keep it up. Talk to you soon.